Let's talk about this thing called ARPA-H or HARPA. They're the same thing. So when I go through this, I may say ARPA-H or I may say HARPA. They're the same thing, so don't get confused by that. It's just sometimes I may throw something out. So let's talk about this. This is the under the skin section as far as this goes. So about 2 weeks ago, ARPA-H or HARPA, don't get those confused. They're the same thing. About 2 weeks ago, they announced their first 4 focus areas for funding. And don't worry if you don't know what this thing is. We're going to go through all this, so just hang in with me. They announced their first 4 focus areas for funding. Each one is connected to the Internet of Bodies system. Remember, Internet of Bodies is just an arm off of the Internet of Things technology. So as far as the Internet of Things, our body is considered a thing to that. So the Internet of Bodies is considered part of the Internet of Things. That's how that works. Their focus areas include genetic engineering. Oh, that should scream right off the bat right there. Vitamin development, code word, vitamin development. Tissue regeneration, and AI-enabled health surveillance, data collection, and analysis. So we got genetic engineering, we got vitamin developments, we've got tissue regeneration, and we've got AI-enabled health surveillance, data collection, and analysis. Oh my, dystopian right off the bat. To make sure you guys don't have to just listen to me lecture so much, here's a little video that HARPA put out about what they're doing. Pay attention now. Doesn't that sound delightful? Yeah, I'm teary-eyed. The future of healthcare is here. It's going to save us. No, it's actually going to kill everybody. That's what it is. Yeah, you saw the stuff that's going on. They're talking about surgery through pills. You're talking about curing cancer through vitamins, AI, virtual. It's horrific. If you know what's going on, if you know all the conspiracy theories out there, you know what's going on. What they're talking about in that video is horrific, down to the core bad. That's what they're talking about. So we know they're announcing funding for 4 areas that fall right in line with the Internet of Bodies, Internet of Things, exactly what's going to be coming with all that stuff. What is ARPA-H? What is it? While it's being promoted as an agency to end cancer, in actuality, it's DARPA for health. You know DARPA, the defense thing where they're doing all this also horrific things for the military and domestic stuff and all the stuff that they're doing. This is the health version of DARPA. That's what this is. It's a high-risk, high-reward agency centered on medical, built similar to DARPA. So DARPA is the same thing. They're the high-risk, high-reward type of thing. They do all the stuff that all the other underlings don't even touch. They're the ones that try and advance things as quickly as they do. Well, that's what HARPA is for medicine, quote unquote. Its goal is to combine national security and health security. Here we go with national security again. You guys sense the theme through all this? Everything's about security. When they say peace and security, sudden destruction will come upon them. I wonder where I've read that from. Oh, that's right. It's in the Bible. That's never once been wrong, that continues to tell us that all this stuff is coming. It's amazing how that works. Systems would connect the user in the name of health that would monitor biometrics and brain wave data. Biometrics and brainwave data. This may sound familiar because this is what Nita Farahani has been pushing recently with the WEF, talking about reading brain data and utilizing pre-crime analysis and even things as neuropathically sending pain to people, distributing pain neuropathically to people. That's why I keep bringing her name up, because I don't want people to forget her. I want people to remember her just as much as they remember Harari, because she's like the next up-and-coming Harari. They're working in tandem. It's important that we understand that. But she just talked about this stuff. If you want to check that out, if you haven't seen it, Tom and I just talked a lot about that. And then go back, and me and Pete talked about it as well. So if you want to see what's going on as far as Nita Farahani and all this stuff, Pete and Tom, I had both of them on to talk about this stuff. Check them out if you haven't. It's also familiar because of this guy, everybody's favorite guy.
You're a neuroscience company, and you're working to build basically an interface to the brain.
Yeah. Electrode to neuron interface at a micro level.
Okay, what is it? Like, I'm gonna have like a plug in my head that's gonna fit into a hard drive? Like, or how does that work?
Yeah. A chip and a bunch of tiny wires.
This would be implanted surgically. And it would do what? Could you input? Could you download Jim?
Yes.
Well, what?
The long-term aspiration with Neuralink would be to achieve a symbiosis with artificial intelligence, and to achieve a sort of democratization of intelligence, such that it is not monopolistically held in a purely digital form by governments and large corporations.
Basically, an effort for man to merge with machine in a healthy way.
Yes.
To beat machines, you basically have to merge with machines.
Most likely, yes. Essentially, how do we ensure that the future constitutes the sum of the will of humanity? And so if we have billions of people with a high bandwidth link to the AI extension of themselves, it would actually make everyone hyper smart.
To beat the machines, you have to become one with the machines. I just want to throw that in there. We know what Musk is up to. We know who he works for and what he's developing, but I just want to throw that in there just as a reminder that he's just as much a part of this as they all go. So ARPA-H, we got this going on because we know it's about using biometrics and brain data and whatnot in the name of health, but they're doing some other stuff. ARPA-H sits within the National Institute of Health, and allowed a budget increase of over $51 billion. $51 billion for the National Institute of Health. That's a lot of money for that. What makes them different is that ARPA-H does not require peer review prior to approval. Handpicked project managers will make all funding decisions. So you know how, like in the Restrict Act, handpicked people will choose who's a domestic terrorist in a foreign entity and can have their entire life removed? Well, it's the same thing with funding for this thing. So all they have to do is put in the project manager that they want, that they know is going to approve everything that needs to flow just perfectly along with the agenda, and the funding will go through no problem. No peer review. So if you want somebody in there that might be, a hitch in the cog, I can't remember the exact term, but a hitch in the cog and kind of slow things down and maybe stop something from going through. No, not for this. Not for this. Nope. You get no say. You get no say. They're advancing this stuff to the point where you get no say. We've been seeing a lot of that lately. Okay, here we go. Starting back in 2019, ARPA-H. Starting back in 2019, it was proposed to Trump through former vice chair of General Electric and former president of NBC Universal, Robert Wright. All right, so we know Trump is involved with this. Game to be played, I'm telling you. All three, Trump, Wright, and Biden, because all three are in this, have concealed the purpose of this system. So all three of them continue to throw out, oh, it's about curing cancer. But all three of them know that it's not about that. Originally pitched as Safe Home, which stands for Stopping Aberrant Fatal Events by Helping Overcome Mental Extremes, the goal was to vacuum mass private data from Apple Watches, Fitbits, Amazon Echoes, and Google Home, and other things like it, as well as medical records to determine if an individual would likely commit a crime. Pre-crime. This is about getting data for pre-crime, reading people's brains. Oh, that's right. Nita Farahani was just talking about that. Interesting. That's an interesting connection that we've got there. That data would then be analyzed via AI programs for neuropsychiatric diagnosis. So it's not even going to be read and diagnosed by humans. No, they're going to use AI for it. Are you seeing that connection? Everything is all connected. All the dots connected to each other. Yeah. This would be invasive. This would be an invasive extension of the Department of Justice pre-crime DEEP program. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of the DEEP program by the Department of Justice. DOJ DEEP program, which is their pre-crime program. Yeah? I don't think a lot of people have. Well, that program, Department of Justice pre-crime DEEP program, was implemented by William Barr, who is another deep state actor, and he was a nomination of Trump. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there again because I really want people to know that he is wrapped up in all this stuff. So William Barr, that was his program, his pre-crime DEEP program. The DEEP program was activated in 2019, months before Trump left office, and was a way for total online surveillance to allow pre-crime arrests. It's still today, going on today. Like I said, all three of them, Trump, Wright, and Biden, were all in on this thing. And it's still going on today. The DEEP program, like I just said, is for a way for total online surveillance to allow pre-crime arrests. So you're talking about warrantless online surveillance to allow pre-crime arrests. The public only knew it as a program to stop mass shootings before they happen. So we just talked about with the online verification bills that they're pushing through, it's about protecting the children. We just talked about with the Restrict Act, it's about banning TikTok. Well, this pre-crime arrest DEEP program was all about stop mass shootings before they happen. You see the game? I can't spell it out any more obvious than that. That's the game being played. Market it as something that people will accept, and then put all the dirty work underneath and hide it from them. That's what's going on with this. Aspects of Safe Home, Wright's original pitch, rolled out quietly until the full monster of ARPA-H was initiated. Boom, it's here. Yeah, one of the key guys on HARPA is Jeffrey Ling, who is a former head of DARPA's Biological Technologies Office. So we're talking about how HARPA is just like DARPA. Well, they got the same biological technology dude from DARPA to help lead HARPA program. Ling, according to the original proposal by Wright, would help design the entire agency, which he did. He's not listed on the website. I don't know if he's still involved. My guess is he is. He's just doing it quietly. Ling's work in DARPA included biology, engineering, and computer science to harness natural systems for national security. There's that security word again. When peace and security comes, when people are saying peace and security, destruction will come. ARPA-H is in full coordination with Silicon Valley companies as we saw 2020 push in the digital realm. Here we go with the connection of Silicon Valley to ARPA-H. 2020 allowed companies like Microsoft, Google, and Amazon to become full contractors with the US intelligence and begin unleashing, and begin unleashing digital healthcare like telemedicine and remote monitoring, etc., things and the like. So here we go with the convenience thing. Everybody was locked down. Most people were forced to go digital and online to get medical stuff checked out. Where did all that information go? Oh, that's right. That's right. They took it. Amazon released their Halo band, interesting name, Halo band that is able to monitor not only physical stuff, but it's able to track the wearer's emotional state. Remember the DEEP program and the safe home thing and ARPA-H? It's all about monitoring health or mental health and brain data and all that stuff. That's what Amazon's Halo thing does. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. The Halo thing, also works in tandem with Amazon, who bought PillPack, an online pharmacy, in 2019. So you're seeing the intertwining of technology, data, and pharmacy, along with Silicon Valley and the United States and the WEF. It's all intertwined. Is that starting to connect dots? I hope it is. If not, that's a whole lot of quinky-dink. I mean, quinky-dink, minimal quinky-dink alone is not enough for me, but that's a whole lot of quinky-dink to think that it's quinky-dink. I mean, that's a big quinky-dink, I'm just saying. This is only a couple things from Amazon that connects to ARPA-H's programming. Take into account all other Silicon Valley initiatives and purchases in the medical field. We're seeing a lot of stuff from Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all these big companies. They're getting involved with pharmaceutical and medical stuff. It's just interesting. So when you see all that stuff, you know this has been being worked on for a while. Then you had 2020 come along and everything. Well, here we go. Time to launch it. Get telemedicine. Get everybody on online doctors. Everybody order their stuff from online pharmacies. Make sure you wear these wearable things so we can monitor your physical health while we also monitor your brain data at the same time. No, don't worry. It's to stop mass shootings. It's to stop mass shootings. This isn't about, what we're trying to do. No. DARPA and ARPA-H and Silicon Valley has been working on variations of the Internet of Bodies wearables, implantables, and consumables to provide 24/7, 365 full biometric monitoring, including brain data. This is a WEF agenda that's been pushed, especially in the WEF, shaping the future of the Internet of Bodies. July 2020 briefing paper. I've got the cover of this thing. If you're interested, it's in this thing. The WEF, shaping the future of the Internet of Bodies, new challenges of technology governance, briefing paper, July 2020. Interesting time for that. In this, it says an unprecedented number of sensors attached to, implanted within, or ingested into human bodies to monitor, analyze, and even modify human bodies and behavior. Modify human bodies and behavior. That's a whole lot of quinky-dink. And we see this confirmed with people like Harari and Farahani. Here's some quotes from both of them. I'm not going to tell you which ones they're from, but they're from both of them. We're no longer mysterious humans, but hackable animals. We can already read the brain data that the person is seeing in faces, numbers, and even the PIN of your own bank account. We can send pain to a person's brain neuropathically. People will give up freedom for health care. Those are some quotes by both Harari and Farahani. Not going to tell you which one said what. But all of that matches up with the WEF agenda, that matches up with ARPA-H, which matches up with the safe home, which matches up with everything. All in the name of national security and healthcare. They're using fear. They're using fear. The fear of your health and the fear of national security to push this all through.